I think it would be appropriate to call on the Taoiseach-elect to address the House at this point.
Ceann Comhairle Ghainúsla is mór ónar dom a bheith an seo libh mar Taoiseach tofa in all éireann. Tá fear curtha agus Harbheith buíoch as ucht an tacaíocht is á feite agam an dál. Is lá speisialta seo ní bháin domsa ach do maclán, macarde agus mo lucht tacaíocht ar fad. Bhráil an buíochas a gáil leo agus as ucht an méid oibre tá déanta acu mar hon ar ma hon. Tá is agam go méid go leor dúshláin náisiúnta agus idirnáisiúnta rowing sna leitheanta atá ag teacht. Tá mid rédóibh. I want to thank Deputy Kenny and Deputy Madigan for nominating me here today. In particular, I want to thank Deputy Kennedy in a very personal way. Yesterday we heard wonderful tributes to his leadership, and I have no doubt that only for him this country as we know it would not be here today. On a personal note, I would like to add that were it not for Enda Kenny, I have no doubt that I would not be standing here in this seat today. Because of his stewardship of our party, I was able to regain a seat for our party, first on the Council and then in the Dáil. And in fact, I took my seat in this Dáil for the first time this day 10 years ago. As of many other people, in fact, so congratulations, class of 2007. He also gave me the opportunity to serve on the front bench and then as a minister, and an opportunity to demonstrate my ability and potential. And without opportunity there is no hope, and there can be no progress, and this is a theme I will turn to later. His leadership also enabled me to become an equal citizen in my own country only 2 short years ago, and to aspire to hold this office, an aspiration which I once thought was beyond my reach, at least if I chose to be myself. And so I would like the outgoing Taoiseach to know that those of us who take on the torch of leadership here today will protect all that he has achieved and make him proud of us by building on all that he has done for the country. Later today I will be speaking to Prime Minister Theresa May, and I will be passing on the sympathies of the Dáil and the Irish people following the terrible fire in London last night. The United Kingdom has been through some dreadful and terrible tragedies in the past few weeks, and to them and on behalf of this House we offer our sympathies, solidarity and support. Ceann Comhairle, I have been elected to lead, but I promise to serve. I want to thank Deputy Martin, the leader of the Fianna Fáil party, for his words and advice, and I want to thank all of the speakers who have set out the challenges facing this country and this new administration. Leadership should never be just about one person, and leadership is not just about setting a course for the future. It is also about listening, and the months ahead I will seek to do exactly that. I would also like to thank Deputy Adams for revealing our little secret that we did in fact attend the same Pilates class on a number of occasions. I do think he was much better at it than I was. Perhaps he has greater experience of being in a tight squeeze. But while we will clash in this Dáil, I do want to offer a genuine willingness to work together on matters relating to Northern Ireland and matters outside the state, and that applies to all parties. We all have responsibilities. Our responsibilities as a government are as co-guarantor of the agreement, and of course the responsibilities of all the parties in Northern Ireland is now, after 2 elections, to form an administration in Northern Ireland. I am delighted that those talks are now underway, and I will have some meetings on Friday with some of the northern parties. I don't wish to respond to the other deputies. Suffice to just say this. I received 57 votes here today. Only 2 of those 57 were allowed to speak. Opposite, 40 members chose to abstain, but only 1 of them was allowed to explain why. And so it is important in democracy that we have diversity, but democracy is also about proportionality, and the equal right to speak must also apply. And so the equal right to speak must also apply to ministers and backbenchers of this party and also the main opposition party. As I said earlier, I took my seat in the Dáil exactly 10 years ago today, and so much has changed in that decade, and I've grown and evolved and changed in that time as well. But I'm still motivated by the same ideals which drove me to enter politics in the first place, and I know drive many of the people in this House as well. For some, politics is a bad word, but we've seen in other countries, and sometimes in this one, that politics can also be a way to inspire people to believe in something bigger. It can be a way to convince people that change is possible. And I believe in the power of politics. It's not perfect, but it is the best way of solving problems and helping to build a better future. Michael Collins believed that with the right political and economic social system in place, Ireland could become a shining light unto the world. And a century later, that dream lives on in all of us in this chamber, in all parties and none. The election of a new Taoiseach is always an important day in our country's democratic life. It's a day when special attention is given to the working of these Oireachtas, not just at home but also around the world. And today was a demonstration of our democracy in action, something which we perhaps sometimes take for granted, yet other countries struggle for. So I want to thank all of those who spoke in this debate, those who spoke in favour of my nomination, as well as those who spoke against. And I'd also like to recognise and thank those who voted for my nomination, and those who voted against, and those who abstained. This chamber is full of politicians on all sides who care passionately about the future of this country and want to do what's right for all of our citizens. We may disagree about policies, about implementation, we may even differ about the very goals themselves, but the fact that we meet here and express those opinions openly, based on our principles and our genuinely held beliefs, is a tribute to our forebears. There have been a number of times in the history of the state when the Taoiseach has changed mid-term, and often it has had a very significant effect. A change mid-term brought Sean Lemass to office in 1959, and he proved to be a modernising and reforming Taoiseach who transformed this country. It's also how John Bruton was elected in 1994, and for 3 years he led a Rainbow Coalition with great distinction, making enormous progress in advancing the Irish economy, committing us to Europe, and building on what had been done to help put in place the foundations for peace in Northern Ireland. I remember well the change of Taoiseach back in 2008, when I was only a year in the Dáil. Back then I noted that being elected Taoiseach is the greatest honour that can be bestowed on any Irish politician, perhaps hoping, but not expecting, that it's an honour that might be bestowed on me one day. Passing on my congratulations to Deputy Cowan and his new cabinet at the time, I said that I wanted a government that was strong on ethics, strong on the economy, and strong on the principle of equity. 9 years on, I stand by those same principles, and I'll demand of myself and my own government what in the past I insisted of others. I know the mandate that I'm being given today comes from the Dáil. Nevertheless, I hope that through our actions as a government and the progress which we achieve, we'll be able to prove that we've earned the trust and support of the people as well. As Taoiseach, I will always respect the Dáil because this chamber represents the elected will of the Irish people. Today I am reminded of the words of the late Seamus Heaney in his poem From the Republic of Conscience. And he said, "At their inauguration, public leaders must swear to uphold unwritten law and weep to atone for their presumption to hold office." I am seized with the enormous task ahead of me and my responsibilities to this country and all of its citizens. And I approach it not with a feeling of presumption, but with a sense of profound humility and respect and appreciation for all that has gone before. When the new constitution was debated in 1937, some TDs objected to the designation of Taoiseach as head of government. Is é Taoiseach an tedal atá agin príomhfhear na hÉireann, is Chairman Gaeilge, agus is ceart agus is cóir sin. Le roinn sé ómós dar star, dar gultúr agus dar naidhreacht. Fiú nach bhfuil mé chud Gaeilge féin chomhlíofa agus bhuailm a bheith. Tá an ceann agam ar deanga dúchais agus le blianta nuas tá saoireamh déanta agam feabhas a chur ar mo chud Gaeilge. Mar híseach beidh sé ar intín agam níos mó gnó agus níos mó diaspóireacht é dhéanamh trí Gaeilge le mo cóid teachtadála. B'éidir nach mé I gcónaí chomh tapaí, nó chomhlíofa ach bhuailm a bheith ach ceapan gur an rud is tábhachtaí ná iarracht a thabhairt air. Sa chaoi seo, tásúla agam go spreagadh mé níos mó daoine an Gaeilge úsáid in ásail. Can Corla, Arthur Griffith, whose monument stands on this Leinster lawn, believed that people could not be moved solely by a cold thing like economics. He said it was rather a question of feeling. What he meant was that if you want to inspire somebody to believe in your vision, you have to appeal to their heart as well as their head. Economics and economic policies on their own were not enough. So the government that I lead will not be one of left or right, because those old divisions don't comprehend the political challenges of today. And while others in the House may be obsessed with the political debates of the 1980s, I can assure you that I am not, and nor will my government. We'll be focused on the solutions of the 21st century and the future. So the government I lead will be one of the new European centre, as we seek to build a republic of opportunity, and that is a republic in which every citizen gets a fair go and has the opportunity to succeed, and in which every part of the country has a chance to share in our prosperity. It is my honour to accept the nomination of Dáil Éireann for the position of Taoiseach, and I will now go to the President to inform him of my nomination, so that under the Constitution he may appoint me as Taoiseach. Accordingly, I suggest that the House be suspended for 4 hours before you resume to discuss and debate the nomination of members of the Government. Thank you.